If your girlfriend has daddy issues, is it a bad idea to discuss it with her?
Well, it depends on the behavior. So typically, women that have daddy issues is that can be all. In other words, they didn't get enough hugs or strokes from dad, and so sometimes that can mean that they come off as very insecure, controlling, clingy, blowing up your phone. Who are you with? Where are you at? What were you doing? And so if you understand it, then how not getting enough hugs as a kid, maybe she's one of these girls that's posting a lot of thirsty type posts on her Instagram or bikini pictures or constantly inviting attention from other men, and you're trying to set and enforce healthy boundaries. You obviously absolutely have to discuss that with her. And you have to just have a matter of fact conversation of how lack of a father or a bad relationship is affecting her behavior in a negative way that's turning you off or making it almost impossible to be in a relationship with her. And, because the only way you can solve problems is if you can talk openly and honestly about it. And if you've got a girl that's got daddy issues, she has to understand how her background and her upbringing or her issues with her father affect her behavior in your relationship. Because how we show up in a relationship is always directly related to what we learned from our family and our parents. So oftentimes we're reacting to somebody we're in a relationship with, not to so much their behavior, but how we were trained in childhood to react. And so if she's open to it, if she's open to discuss these things because she wants to be a good girlfriend to you, then you can have a discussion. Sometimes women don't like the feedback. They don't want to hear it, or they just dismiss it outright. It's if you can't talk openly and honestly about the problems or the undesirable behavior that you want her to correct, and you can't fix anything with that. And so it'd be better just to tap out. And so, like I said, typically it shows up as insecurity, or it'll show up as that they're in a relationship or they're dating and she's constantly inviting attention from other guys and doesn't see a problem with it because there was no dad around to teach her how and why that behavior is completely inappropriate and why it's inappropriate for a girl or a lady, I should say, that's in a relationship to go have a dinner with a male coworker at 8 o'clock at night and it's just her and the male coworker. Any normal human being would hear that, oh, you went out with this guy from work that's single at 8 o'clock at night at dinner? Yeah, that's a dinner date. That dude is trying to get into her pants. And a lot of times women that came from those backgrounds, they were never taught that. And they just think they're going and hanging out because the guy, he's just strictly acted in a platonic way and they think it's a totally innocent thing. But the reality is the guy is hoping to go from being in friend zone to being in her panties. And women who have healthy relationships with their fathers and they're in a relationship, they're loyal. They're not going to go out and go to a dinner date with some dude that they work with or her boss for that matter, one-on-one. They're just not going to do those things.
No, I was actually going to mention if the way that she reacts, depending on, say, if this dude is like, oh, like, talking about like her daddy issues, like confronting adult, mature, but uncomfortable conversations, how she reacts to it says a lot about her personality and her maturity and how she takes things.
And is she taking responsibility for her actions?
On top of that, communication is a really huge thing in a relationship. So, if you make a big deal out of something like that, it really does show your level of maturity.
She's either going to respect the boundary or she's not. And if she doesn't respect it, then she's going to have to go on down the road because it's not your job to fix her, especially if she doesn't want to be fixed and she doesn't want to change, then, that's just a hookup girl, a party girl. That's not somebody you get into a relationship with.